Hi, it's Radical again. I wanted to come on here and share an account. Fortunately, I don't have the account in front of me, but I wanted to share the gist of an account that is true. At some point I'll find it. If any of you out there know the exact citation it is, I read it in some book. It is actual history of the church. It's something that actually went on. Now it won't be verbatim, but I'm going to give the gist of it. This touches on both things in my conversation currently with Mormons against Mitt. I believe this also applies to concepts of immigration and various other things that I've come upon. But there was an instance in the history of the church in which a significant group of saints, Latter-day Saints, followers of Joseph Smith, there was men, women, children in this group, were traveling from one Mormon settlement to another. I believe they were both Mormon settlements, but they were traveling from one settlement to another. And in the middle of their journey, a snowstorm descended and they got trapped. And it ended up becoming, around nighttime, and they're trapped in the snowstorm. And the nearest town to them, which they could get to, was a town. It was a town that was able to take them in if it had wanted to. But there had been rumors in the region, rumors about the Mormons and how they shouldn't be trusted and how bad they were and how deceptive Joseph Smith was and everything. The typical fare against the Mormons, especially back in those days. Now, what ended up happening was they approached the village and just asked if they could please stay the night. They would pay for their lodging. They would try to just lie low. They just needed a place to stay for the night, otherwise they would freeze to death. And the village together basically decided that no, we're not going to let these Mormons in because of the rumors we've heard, and we don't want to go with these people because of the things we've heard. Well, Joseph Smith was kind of out of options. He determined that rather astutely because they were in the middle of a snowstorm and they didn't have any supplies. They weren't planning on getting caught in the snowstorm, and they needed a place to stay. And so Joseph Smith went back to the villagers and basically told them, I have enough men here. We can take your town and we can keep ourselves warm by the fire of your town burning through the night. We will do all we can to survive, and so you either let us come in and stay the night, or we'll do what we need to do. Now, that obviously is not something that's legal. I mean, threatening to raise a town is not something terribly legal. I don't know many legal systems that would go kind of that. I know there's a lot of people that would think that is an ethical and moral lapse or what have you. But Joseph Smith, he did it. He said, let us stay. And so the saints stayed that night. They let them in because they didn't have much of a choice unless they wanted their town razed and burned. And in the morning time, the people that they'd been staying with realized how really stupid and foolish and cruel they'd been in their initial rejection of the saints. And they apologized profusely to the saints as the saints were leaving, because they realized that the saints weren't there for any trouble. The saints didn't cause them any problems while they stayed the night there, and they got on their way. And I think this is one instance among many throughout the gospel, throughout the scriptures, in which something that normally isn't acceptable becomes acceptable. And it's through the Holy Spirit, it's through being in tune with the Holy Spirit, that these moments of moral ambiguity, these moments when it's not, when there isn't any clear playbook which to go by, when the Holy Spirit gives us access to the right answers, and the right answers don't always line up with everybody's playbook. So I wanted to leave that with you, and hopefully if I end up finding the exact location of that, I'll get it posted, or if somebody will email it to me, I'll get it posted. So thank you, and I hope you all have a great evening.